Namo Buddhaya. This morning I had got a request from one Dhamma friend after listening to yesterday's talk regarding Anatta. So I wanted to answer to that question to begin with, and then we can take further how to practice. Before that, let us do the Buddha Vandana. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhamma sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. One thing to note is that when we do the Buddha Dhamma Sangha, we need to reflect the 24 qualities of Buddha Dhamma Sangha, starting with Iti Piso Bhagava. That has to be done mentally by reflecting upon that. In case if there are certain doubts which have appeared, and that helps you to get rid of it. And most of the people don't get into Sotapanna just by listening to the discourses or desana because of the doubt or wrong understanding of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. So the minimum thing what you need to have is to get a good Sotapanna, good in the sense that who has himself or herself been a Sotapanna, and they know it that they are Sotapanna. So that person will be a good Kalyana Mitra. So the obstacle would be either in the Dhamma, that is what we have learned or what we are learning through books or through videos or through something. If the interpretation is wrong, it becomes very difficult for us to get that experience. So we might have pariyatti, that is knowing it, patipatti, that is experiencing through the mind, and pativedan is the actual experience, what is there in the sutta. So sometimes if we have wrongly understood the Dhamma, or the Dhamma friend who is a Kalyana Mitra, who himself or herself is not a Sotapanna, and or he is not able to explain or she is not able to explain properly, even though he or she is a Sotapanna, then it might cause certain hardships or obstacles for others to reach the Sotapanna. So one need to really investigate whether the person to whom you are hearing is a Sotapanna or not. So how do you know it? If you are getting a strong peace of mind through the voice, and the Dhamma is getting clearer than the earlier time when you have last heard the Dhamma or read about the Dhamma, and you're getting a clarity, and that Dhamma Chakku is opening up, that is wisdom eye of Dhamma is opening up, that clearly shows the person is indeed at least a Sotapanna, and he has or she has the right Dhamma. So you can follow that person. I just wanted to give you this small input before we go deeper. So let's take the question. The question is, or rather my statement yesterday was, one can control the five senses, which Buddha talks it as Dithe, Dithe Mattan, Sute, Sute Mattan, Mute, Mute Mattan, Vinyate, Vinyate Mattan. So what it means in English is Dhite, Dhite Mattan means seeing as seeing without adding anything. Sute, Sute Mattan is hearing the sound as sound. Mute, Mute Mattan is actually related to taste and the touch and the smell, all the three of them. Vinyate, Vinyate Mattan is the consciousness or grasping or finding out or perception, whatever way we want to experience what we are experiencing. That should be non-fabricated. So basically all the five senses should be non-fabricated. So what we can do is we can work towards removal of that. So his question was how we can do that. So if I could read his question, he says that I have listened to your talk today about Anatta. At the end and through the video, you say that we can maybe control the eye, but not what we see, as well as what we taste, etc. I lack the ability to see this. To a certain extent, I cannot control what I see day to day. But if I want to taste chocolate or whatever, I can by setting up the conditions. Or if I want to see a movie, I can use my intentions and watch the movie. What am I not understanding? It's a very good, profound question. I really appreciate him for bringing this question out. So basically, this was a topic I wanted to cover today, and he has exactly brought out that. So what we need to do is, we need to see the senses and the sense object. And the senses and sense object both are anatta. That is, unless the consciousness connects them, it's anatta. So now let us look at the scenario. Eye versus sight. Eye is just an eye, which just gets created the moment light is there. That's all. If light is not there, no eye is created. Now, when there is something to see, the perception makes me see due to feeling. So first and foremost, we need to understand the sankhara. There are three kinds of sankhara. One is the mano sankhara or chitta sankhara, which is feeling and perception. Then the second sankhara is vachi sankhara, where a person thinks and ponders. And the third sankhara is kaya sankhara, where a person is breathing that intention. Okay, so let me put it in a very nice way. I, that is the eyes here, is having the light, and because of the light watches a girl coming. Right now there is no impression on the mind sense door. The moment there is an impression on the mind sense door, the feeling starts of what? Number one, it's a girl. Number two, good looking. Number three, bad looking, or whatever it is. Short girl, long girl, and all of that. Fair, dark, or whatever it is. So it comes with some color, some shape, some structure, and that comes to the mind sense door. So two things are going to be there. One is raga, that is, she's a nice looking girl. Dvesha, aversion there, that she is not a good looking, because I'm in search, the I is in search of either good looking, which is what it wants all the time, or push away the bad looking. So there is a frustration if there is aversion, and there is a tremendous amount of attachment to possess that which is good looking. So as soon as the girl is walking towards me, I start thinking and pondering over that girl. Now it has moved from the perception state, which is in the manos sankhara. It has moved into the vachi sankhara, where I am thinking and pondering about that girl. Her features, basically, tall, long, good hair, all of that. Whatever is there in my mind, meaning whatever I want to enjoy. Then it comes to kaya sankhara. In the kaya sankhara, my heart starts to race because I'm excited to see the girl. So my breath has changed from a normal flow. There is a different flow altogether. So until I get that girl, my mind is perplexed. Perplexed to the extent that I need to possess that object which is coming in, that is the girl. I cannot hold her physically because she is going to slap me. So I will hold her in my mind sense door, and this is the upadana. Whereas in reality, the I is anatta, the sight is anatta, both are anatta. But in my mind, it is atta, that is, it is mine. I have seen the girl. She is good looking. No, she is not good looking. Or there is neutral feeling, neither good nor bad, which is out of ignorance, not because the person is in Dhamma. If he's in Dhamma, then he is perfectly right. He's in Upekha. He's in the fourth jhana. But here, out of ignorance, I am watching the girl to enjoy. So if the sankhara matches, there is pleasure, because there is a vexation to enjoy that girl. And now it is getting into relief from that vexation, and I make it as Atta, mine. I am enjoying this girl in the mind. Let's say the girl wants to ask an address and she has put a particular perfume which is so good, and she comes near me and she asks me, can you tell me where this address is? And she has not worn the clothes, or rather she has worn the clothes in a way which makes me sensually, lustfully attracted to that girl, because that is there in my mind. Now what happens is it gets converted automatically into Kama Chanda. So I am now, instead of just seeing, now I'm smelling her, because the perfume is coming and I love that perfume. And there is voice, the sound. So I love her voice. She has a real feminine, charming voice when she asks the address. So now the fourth one is the mind. I'm enjoying already those structures, those features of hers in my mind, and I want it. I want to possess her. So the only two things which are missing, one is tasting her and one is touching her. Let's say a car buzzes by very close to her as though it's going to hit her. So I pull her to my side and she says, thank you very much, sir, you saved my life. And then there is a friendly conversation. I will share my name, she will share her name. She will say, it was so nice of you. Then I say, why don't you join me for coffee or tea? And she says, no, don't take that much of obligation. And I say that, look, I'm not doing anything. I'm just asking you for a cup of tea or coffee. And she says, yes, happily, saying that, yes, why not? So then we strike a conversation. So what we have done now is a paticca samutpada. Avidya pachaya sankhara to soka parideva dukkha domanasa upayasa sambhavanti. Because this is exactly what is happening just with one sense door. That is, I just saw, and that attraction, that raga, converted itself into so many things, or it opened up all the remaining sense door. All of them are anatta, but it is giving me an experience of atta. So basically what I was supposed to do, I was supposed to look at her as just an object. Object of what? Patavi, Apo, Vayo, Tejo. She is having a solid body with bones and all that, so it is Patavi Dhatu. She has saliva, she has urine, she has all liquid things, sweat and all that. It is Apo Dhatu. If she touches me and I touch her, there is only temperature which is interchanging. She might have a cold hand or a cold shoulder or a cold whatever, or a warm or a hot. And when I touch her, the same thing, but my heart is racing. So it is completely different. My sankhara is now different. The chitta sankhara, which is feeling, I am feeling so much happy to see her because of the karma. So sukha vedana. And she says that I don't want to drink coffee with you, dukkha vedana. So I want to convince her, right? All of that. And vachi sankhara is happening. That is thinking and pondering, vitakka vichara. And then kaya sankhara, asapassa, where my breath has completely changed. That I am in vexation, so I am breathing heavy. I'm not no longer relaxed as I was before the girl was seen. So to answer to his question, we need to look at the sankhara on one side and see what is attracting or repelling there on the other. What I need to have in my chitta sankhara is the feeling of neutral, because the perception is no girl there. It is Patavi, Apo, Vayo, Tejo, which is the same as mine, which is Patavi, Apo, Vayo, Tejo. If I have experienced that, then the Vachi Sankhara will not be there at all. So there's no Vachi Sankhara. And the Kaya Sankhara will not have the change in the breath. Because now I have penetrated into Anatta. Chakkum Anatta, Rupam Anatta. What it means is that I can change my viewpoint on how to see the girl. Simple. The girl is going to be a girl, but I have changed my viewpoint. So there is no vexation, there is no anxiety, there is no restlessness, there is no sensual, lustful pleasure to be sought about, and there is no vyapada, which is aversion. So all the four of the hindrance, the fifth one, Visikiccha, has already gone. So putting the Dhamma into practice, I am removing the other four of the nivarnas or the hindrance. And what I get is to see the Anatta. Because no matter what I do, I cannot possess her. What I am possessing is a solid body. She is going to sweat, so there's liquid. Then she has temperature, so that is the Tejo. Then there is movement, so there is gas moving and across her body, and then there is this breath. Okay, so this is what I need to contemplate deeper, which will help me from Sotapanna level to Anagami level. And what it does is, once we go very deep into investigating Anatta, it starts to show a lot of dukkha. That possessing the girl is such a dukkha. Because there is dukkha, there is sankhara dukkha, and there is viparinama dukkha. What if the girl says, I don't want to drink coffee with you? It is conditioned, and hence it's going to be viparinami dukkha. And dukkha, I have to take so much of trouble. And I see the girl, my whole body is transformed. I want it. I want her. And then the sankhara dukkha, I have to do so much of sankhara just to realize that when I go to sleep, there is no girlfriend, there is no wife, there is no friend, there is nobody there, because even I don't exist when I go to sleep, whether in the afternoon or in the morning or in the evening. And if I am dreaming also, it's not there. So basically, the session I wanted to do was how to experience Anatta. There's no personality. You see, my personality got changed then and there. I was a normal being, then the karma took over, so I became lustful. So my personality is now a lustful personality. So there is no fixed personality. And hence, in some of the books, if they have put as anatma, makes sense, because you cannot control what is happening. It's happening due to the sight, but it's not perfect way of translation as anatta as anatma. But still it works well to a certain extent, but it's better we understand it correctly. Anatta is lacking personality. You cannot take it as a person. Atta is a person. Anatta is no person, nothing to do with self, no self or self, no. A person there or no person there. There is no person there actually, because it keeps on changing based upon what is coming. There's another girl who is coming and I might not even look at her because I don't like her. And there's another girl who is coming who doesn't fit into my vision, because she doesn't have the characteristics and features what I'm looking at, like this girl has. So while I'm talking to this girl, my eyes can still go and shop for the other girls who are coming. This is what we do. So my message yesterday was, you can control that. If you know what is a girl, if you know yatha bhuta jnana, that is what really it is. It's only combination of 4 elements and nothing else. And the person whom you're seeing is only the body. There is no person there. So when I hold that girl in my arm, what I'm really holding is Pathavi, Apo, Tejo, and Vayu, and Akasha, 5th dhatu, and the 6th dhatu is Vijnana. So there are 6 dhatus as explained in the Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta. So if I am holding her, it's actually completely Anatta. Why? I cannot control her feelings. I cannot control her opinions. I cannot control her way of dressing. I cannot control the way she looks. I cannot control anything about her. The only choice I have is to fight with her, to accept what I say, or I accept whatever she does. Meaning, once she becomes my girlfriend and we are going together, then I find that I'm stuck. Because earlier it was lust on the body, now the mind comes into picture and we cannot predict what the mind does, her mind does. It changes based upon the situation because there is no personality as such. So this is what Anatta experience is all about. This is the example I wanted to give you. And tomorrow we can start with Dukkha, in case if I don't get any further question on Anatta. But if we get further questions on Anatta, then we will close completely that Anatta and before we get into Dukkha. Thank you so much. And all the people who have assembled here, either with body or without body, may all of them attain peace, whether they are far or near or wherever they are. Let the Buddha Dhamma go to them and let them hear to this small discourse and attain higher. Thank you.